Yeah, thank you very much for everyone coming along today. As you are all now aware, I've decided to announce my retirement effective end of this season. After 17 very enjoyable seasons across 2 clubs, I feel as now my body no longer allows me to do what I want to do, which is extremely frustrating at times. But I'm extremely comfortable with the decision I'm making, and I'm quite content with where I'm at right now. I pretty much started the season knowing it was going to be my last, and it's turned out to actually be one of the most enjoyable seasons of my career so far. To spend most of this year, all by one game, playing in the SANFL, it's certainly given me the chance to work with some of our younger boys, help them get better, see them improve, and it's been very rewarding for myself. I've always been passionate about helping young guys develop, and so many of them have got the best out of themselves this year, and like I said, it's been very rewarding for me and where I want to go with life after footy. This industry teaches you so much, and I'm so lucky to have had so many good times, which I won't go through right now, but spanning 17 years, I've had some really enjoyable times along my journey, which started out at Melbourne in 2001, 17 years ago, and there's a lot of people I want to thank. And I won't do that individually now, but I'll get around to those people in the coming days. But I'd like to start that off with just thanking the Melbourne Footy Club for giving me my first look at AFL footy, with Craig Cameron, the recruiting manager at the time, and the coach at the time, Neil Danaher, giving me my first opportunity to play at the highest level. I really enjoyed my first 4 years of AFL footy at that club, and now being back in Adelaide at the start of 2005 and this place being my second home for the last 13 years has been really rewarding. And the role that Vinny Del Bono, it's been mentioned before, along with James Fantasia, the role they played in getting me back to this club was really important at the time, and I've enjoyed every minute of it since I've been back here. And it's an interesting one because when I came back, I had a few mates talk to me about the fact I couldn't stand the Adelaide Footy Club as a kid growing up. But the fact that I've spent 13 years inside these 4 walls now, I wouldn't change that for the world. I've had 6 senior coaches along my journey over the last 17 years. Neil Danaher, as I touched on to start with, Neil Craig, Brenton Sanderson, Phil Walsh, Don Pike and Scott Camperelli, the guys sitting alongside me, have all played a really important role throughout my last 17 years. Taught me a lot about hard work, discipline, and how to get the best out of myself. It's fitting that Don's sitting next to me as well here, because when I started back here in 05-06, he was the assistant coach of the Adelaide Footy Club at the time, and for him to be sitting here as a senior coach now and have the club sitting in the position that we find ourselves in is rewarding for him and the club, but it's great for me to bow out the Adelaide Footy Club with starting my career here now, ending it with him as a senior coach. And the fella on my left, in Scott Camperelli, has been my midfield coach for now the last 7 to 8 years, and stepped in as senior coach for a period of time after the passing of Phil Walsh, and did a wonderful job there. But the stuff that Scott has done with me around my own game, again, how to get the best out of myself and be a better person, hard work, and all that he's taught me about playing the game of footy, I'll never forget that, mate, so I really appreciate all of that. A big thank you to past players that are sitting here today, and current players, and past players that I've spent many years with at this footy club, and the same with Melbourne. The past players I played with at Melbourne have all had a huge impact on my career, taught me so much, and have really helped me along my journey. All the trainers, physios, doctors, fitness staff, and anyone else that I've missed that have all played a huge role in keeping me out on the ground over the past 17 years has been a huge support, and I'll be very thankful for that once my career does finish up in the next X amount of weeks. To Vinny, again, mate, what you've done for me since I've been back here has been unbelievable, and I appreciate everything you've done. To Emma Barr, who's played a huge role and is by far the best development manager that we've got in the AFL, and we're lucky enough to have her here, and I'm sure the boys will vouch for that. But what you've done for me in the past few years is words can't explain it. I'm very thankful for that. To the members and fans, there's certainly no doubt that you guys are the most passionate in the league, and I thank you for all your support that you've given me over the past 13 years at the Adelaide Footy Club. It's been a really enjoyable ride. And to my family, my mum and dad, Wayne and Denise, that have been there from day dot, watched every little bit of my journey. Used to fly to Melbourne whenever I was playing over there with the Demons, and I've been to every single home game I've played since I've been back in Adelaide, and the love and support that you've given me over the past 17 years, it's been half my life, has been spent in the AFL system, and I wouldn't have been able to do what I've done without the support of both of you. My brother Simon and Lauren's sister, you're in exactly the same boat. To have the support of the family that I've got, I'm very blessed. I could have the worst game in the world and they'd tell me I played well, which is always nice to know. My two beautiful children sitting over there that certainly put life in perspective and certainly have kept me grounded for a long time now. Ava's 10 and Harry's a touch off turning 7, but words can't explain how proud you make me. And having you there and knowing that you understand what's going on around the footy club, it's been unbelievable the last 10 years with you, Ava and Harry, and for all of you that know my son, the boys especially, seen him run around here and I can't get his bloody Crows outfit off him at times. It goes through the wash about 5 times a week. But the support that they've given me is, like I said, words can't explain. To Georgia in recent times, thank you very much for your support. Sambo, my best mate who's sitting over there as well, from school days, and we've grown up together, and him and a number of other boys from school I've been fortunate to have some very strong bonds with, and to help them get me through my journey over the last 17 years. Like my family, I wouldn't have been able to do what I've done without the support of you guys, and as a past player, Brent, to have you down here today, mate, it's unreal. We've spent many years inside these 4 walls and had plenty of good times, and it's fantastic you can sit here and share this with me today. So it's been, as I said, it's been a really enjoyable journey, one that's not finished yet. We find ourselves sitting in a really good position as a club, and I had a brief chat with the boys earlier, and I'd thought a little bit the last couple of days of what I wanted to say to them. But like I said, we're in a very good position, and the hard work starts now, and I think we're capable of, as a group, of chasing huge success not only this year but going forward. And also said to them, don't slacken off, because I'm right up your arse and I'll take your spot if you don't watch it. But we've got some good things to look forward to as a club. Cheers.
Tomo, when did you know?
Like I said, mate, pretty much at the start of this season, I realised that it was going to be my last year, and I was pretty comfortable with that. But it's the build up to getting myself to a point to front the playing group and start telling family and friends that the journey's over was probably the hardest bit, even though I'd made my own mind up. Sharing that with them was pretty emotional at times. I'm glad I held myself together today and I've got the emotion out the way, but yeah, I'm quite content with where it's at now.
You leave a pretty big hole, mate. Most importantly, I suppose, who now has the best rig?
Yeah, the boys were talking about getting a shot after to put up in the gym, but I said, just hard work will get you there, boys. You should be right.
Yeah, you said your body's caused you some troubles this year. What in particular's got the better of you?
Oh, nothing major. I just can't do some of the things I used to find quite easy. Can't bend over the way I used to bend over to pick up a footy, which is quite frustrating at times. But aside from that, I mean, it's been touched on. I had a few issues throughout the pre-season, but the body itself's holding together quite well. It's just doesn't function as well as it used to a few years ago.
So what's made this season as enjoyable as you said it's been?
Yeah, like I said, I mean, by choice, I would have spent the year at AFL level. but it hasn't panned out that way. And spending the season with a bunch of our young guys through the SANFL was really opened my eyes as well. And it's certainly sparked my passion for coaching, and I see the reward that these guys would get out of watching the team and these boys improve as well as the young guys that enter our system. And we've got a great culture here, and being able to watch closely some of the younger guys go about their business and talk to them about their game and see the things that they train during the week happen in games is, I found, really rewarding for myself as well.
Seems like you're tailor-made to step into a coaching role then. What's next?
Yeah, so there's certainly a number of things I'm looking at, and I've really got a passion for that side of the game now. But first and foremost, I've got bigger things to throw with these boys throughout the back half of this year. There's 6 home and away games plus finals, and I'm certainly going to do everything I can to play a role in that.
So you're not riding off the fairy tale finish then by the sound of it?
Well, if fairy tales happen, I'd certainly put my hand up for it, that's for sure. But no, I know exactly where I sit at the moment, and worry about what I can control, and who knows what happens from there.
A bit of a weight off your shoulders, Thomas?
It is, yeah. Like I said, I've been comfortable with my decision, but I guess it'll give me a sense of relief now that I've been able to speak to the family and close mates and the playing group about where I'm at, and I can enjoy the rest of what remains of this year. Nothing's going to change the way I'll go about my business around here, but then focus on life beyond footy.
Any regrets?
No regrets. I think I've pushed myself hard from day dot. I've had a pretty clear understanding of what it takes for me to get the best out of myself, and I had some really good people to learn off of over the years. Back at Melbourne days when I first started out there were a number of senior guys in that side that taught me good habits, and then had the luxury of coming to this team with, a number of the champions of this club that were around for a long time, that, again, the training standards, the work ethic that they set inside this footy club, I was able to learn off of that as well. And hopefully now, in the past decade and a bit, I've been able to pass some of that on to the playing group sitting here and some of the young boys that have walked through the doors recently.
Tomo, if your career finished today, is there a moment that will stick with you forever if you look back and pick a moment or a game or a memory?
It's a good question. To be honest, at the moment, I'm not one to reflect on what's happened throughout my career. No doubt when it finishes, I'll sit back and think about things that happened and things I may have been able to achieve along the way, but at this point in time I haven't put too much thought into it. There's certainly a couple of games that stick in my mind, some finals games that we've had success as a team, and there's 3 games I don't really want to remember, but they still stick in the mind as well. And I also spoke to the boys about that this morning, about doing whatever it takes to chase that ultimate success. I've played in 3 losing prelim finals, 05, 06 and then again in 12, where I thought we had a team that was capable of going all the way, and for whatever reason it didn't happen. So they're games I don't want to remember but do. And then I guess there's a couple of individual performances that you think about from time to time, but more chasing that grand final dream at the moment.
And apart from the obvious sitting on top of the ladder, what is it about the group or where the club's at now that gives you that confidence that you think that you can do something special?
Well, just the belief I see within the group, also the amount of hard work they put into their training. They want to improve, so we've got a group here that can feed off of the 2 guys sitting next to me, as well as the rest of our coaching staff, and some of the information and messaging that we get and the work we do outside of just footy training has put the club in a really strong position to achieve some success and have these guys in a really positive frame of mind to get the best out of themselves.
Is there
A couple of
anything
vacancies this weekend possibly. Has the coach given you any indication?
Don? No, it's funny. I also spoke to the boys, and I'm sure you're talking about one being Eddie, who's just had a little stint in hospital, but it's funny that he's not here today because he's the second eldest in the group behind me. And I spoke to the boys about some of the nicknames that I received, which I probably shouldn't say in front of the cameras. But I said I'm happy to pass the baton on to him to now receive those nicknames, and it's fitting that he's not here today to listen to that. But no, going forward, like I said, I know where I'm at, and if an opportunity presents itself for me, I'll certainly grab it with both hands.
Aside from the nicknames, is there anything you won't miss about AFL life, Tomo?
That I won't miss? I'm pretty much self-managed nowadays, so one thing I probably won't miss is being told what to do, when to do it, how to do it every single day. I think I've got that under control to a certain extent. But other than that, mate, it's been an unbelievable ride, one I've thoroughly enjoyed, and one no doubt when I finish up at the end of this season, I'll sit back and be proud of what I've been able to achieve, and hopefully some of the stuff I've passed on to the rest of the playing group.
So Don, you've coached him on and off for 13 years or so. What did you see when he first arrived at the club, and what has he brought to the club?
Yeah, well, when he first arrived, he was a fairly how would I describe him, cantankerous young man who was had a great passion for the game and the blonde tips back when he had hair. But he had I'm going that way, don't I? He had enormous passion for the game. Yeah, what I saw when he first arrived is a guy who wanted the very best, and so I sit here 10 years later not surprised that he's achieved what he's achieved, because he came with a great attitude towards the game. He plays the game the right way. He plays with a really aggressive mindset around the contest, and that's what's allowed him to A, play the number of games he's played, but B, have the influence he's had. And he leaves our club with a lasting legacy as one of the great players we've had, and that's a credit to the work he's done. And how he's committed himself to being the best he can be, and that's all you ask as a player, is to get everything you can out of yourself, and he's done that. And we see a guy leave our footy club, which is important to us as a really good person, someone who's come and walks out of here leaving the place better, but being better for his involvement in the footy club, which is what he passes on to the current playing group.
Do you believe in fairy tales, Don?
Do I believe in fairy tales? Well, look, from the reality is, in the position Scott's in, as he's alluded to, he's in the mix to play footy for us, and will continue to be for the rest of the season. It's really down to selection and form and so forth. And I know, knowing Scott and knowing how he's attacked this year, he will continue to perform to a high level and continue to press his claims. And funny things have happened.
Well, guys.
Campo, you want a word on what's...
You don't have to ask me one, Theo. It's fine. I'll just hide the microphone. That's right. I forgot my belt.
Any good yarns about the youngster next to you?
Oh, not for the cameras. No, look, he's been an unbelievable player, and I know he thanked me, but from a coach point of view, he helps the coaches just as much as vice versa. So individually, from my point of view, he's been not only a player-coach relationship, he's been a friend-friend relationship, and he's also been a guy that has been someone that I can actually bounce ideas off, because at the end of the day, these guys are actually doing the stuff on the ground. So he's got a great football brain. He'll go far in his coaching, and he has left a legacy with particularly our midfield group. The way he goes about his business, the way he prepares, and the way he sees the game. There's no doubt Sloanes, the Crouches, Dangerfields, these guys have got a piece of Tomo in him, no doubt.
Scotty, you mentioned you grew up hating the Crows, played for the Magpies. Would you love to see a play in one last showdown?
That's in a couple of weeks, isn't it? I don't. It's interesting because the passion that I had being a Port boy, and obviously I followed Port Power when they first joined the competition, but your feelings certainly change very quickly in a two-team town. And ever since I've been back here, that we used to follow the Magpies when it was the Magpies in the SANFL, but in recent times, no, it's I don't put too much thought into what happens down the road, and if I play in another showdown, it wouldn't bother me or not, no.
And do you see yourself putting boots back on at all in the future?
Beyond AFL, back at North Haven. Well, that's where it started. I started the under-9s down at North Haven, then went from there to Port District, and well, District's a Div 1 at the moment. North Haven, I think, might be Div 5, something like that. So, no, I can't see myself playing any amateur footy beyond this year. I enjoy watching it, but playing it's another story. Yeah.
All good, guys. Thank you.
Thank you. So,